There we go. I do believe we are live. So I'll say, indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friend. Thank you for joining me again on another conscious evolution. The process doesn't stop, does it? Today we're going to talk about love. Oh, surprise, surprise. Specifically, how the only way to find love in this world is to be love. Natalie, said it beautifully in yoga today as well, that love starts with you, ultimately. Love very much does start with you. And I want to talk about like how we've kind of like bastardized, unfortunately, love, the word love, to mean something romantic. And even though today's topic can be considered in the capacity of, finding romantic love, I think of it more as a way of being, you know, that there can be romance in that. And I do believe there's a lot of romance in my way of like loving the world, loving the trees, loving the sun as it's setting in front of me. But it is a state of being, right? Like we, in this romantic kind of way of seeing it, it can feel like we are getting something, right? That the sun is giving me its light right now, and therefore I can love it because it's giving me something, and the tree is giving me its beauty, and therefore I can love it. Where I would like to just, in our minds, reverse that type of, you know, significance, to realize that the love arises within you always, in romance, in your relationship with your family. It is something that is already present in you, and then you give that. And being able to give that without expecting anything in return is so difficult. But I believe it's ultimately what's going to help us save the world. I feel like I'm shaking with the amount of energy coursing through my body right now. I took 1.11 grams of mushrooms like 3 hours ago. No, 4 hours ago. So I'm in that space right now. I'm not feeling too trippy. I'm just feeling present and loving. Thank you, friends, for joining me. Let's play some kalimba to start this off gently. We'll do 3 minutes. that was like one of the hardest sessions for me to be through. Like maybe that's the way it was supposed to be, right? Maybe there was like a certain request of myself to love even the struggle, going through the difficulty of it. But I'm here. It's nice to have you friends here with me. Thank you for finding some time. Let me see. Joe Schmo. I was like thinking about you for most of the day. Like, bro, like the amount of pressure knowing that you're listening. It's like, I need to better again than yesterday. It's just nice having you here. Sending you so much love and Louisiana and Shan, of course. Joy V here too, Sam. And I think that's everybody for now, at least. Shan, you looked absolutely stunning yesterday. Meant to tell you, but failed to mention it. Love is true. So nice of you, dude. What up, people? Hey, Sam. It's nice having you here as well. I'm just feeling loving, right? I feel like today's stream topic is one of those that has been so present in the stream. Like we have communicated in so many ways over and over again. And then I reach these points where the significance of what that actually means really comes back to me. Kitty is messing with my things. You messing with my things, Kitty? Yeah. The significance of, what that means. Like having found this space, right? Like it comes with a little bit of ego, unfortunately. It comes with a little bit of ego where it's like, oh yeah, Oscar, like Oscar, that's what my ego sounds like sometimes. It's like, oh, bro, okay, yeah, fine. I hear you. Love yourself and all of the things, but also realize that this amount of love that we're showing up for is what allows us this amount of love that we're showing up for. Cable joining us too. He's being like, "What's up? Where's that love in so Where'd that be?" Alex, here as well. See, so much love. Sangha falls right in the same time. We prefer to run errands, and if we put off to attend to crazy people buying up the meat before we can get any, I get it with a scoop of protein powder so I can convince myself that it's healthy. Love you, Sam. It's okay. You don't have to explain anything, Like I know all of us have our own lives. We have our own little infinities that we find ourselves so immersed in, right? And we need to take care of this state of being. Just know that you will be celebrated when you show up, right? You won't be hated for not showing up. You won't be, etc., etc. You will just be loved. I feel like that is one thing that we actually are showing up for. One thing that we can believe in. Can't find love without being it. Right? Thinking of this sense of, what do they call it? There's a word for it. It believing you're the only one in existence. Right? And I've shared. Let me share actually with you. I had this dream one day where I got up from my bed, and as I look at my hands, I'm this entity that is composed of layers, self-replicating layers of itself. And as I was looking at my hands, I could see versions of me being and melting away right in front of me. And I was like, oh, that's a lot. And I get up from my bed. And as I'm walking, and I should preface, the rest of my room is also made up of these layers that is in front of me. And I'm like, oh, goodness. And I get up from my bed, and I'm like in a room enclosed in this energy. And as I start directing myself to go to the bathroom, opening up in front of me, like these layers almost like giving way onto itself, is my bathroom. And I walk into my bathroom, and I look at a mirror at myself, and I see myself, multiple versions of me melting away actively as I'm staring at myself. And I find in that moment dissatisfaction, right? Understanding that the reality that I'm in is one that is actively and ceaselessly being created of the self for the self. And there is dissatisfaction. And I realize that the reason I'm dissatisfied is because I'm not existing in a state of love. Realizing that, yes, the reality is that we are the ones creating this experience for ourselves right now. And the only way to be satisfied isn't going to be for something, someone, someplace to give us something, but for us to already abide. All right, the dude abides in that state of love, to already be where it is you're going. Right now, where you are, abide in where you're going. Right? It's almost like we're practicing. Maybe we should read something we're saying. See what the universe is going to give us a little message. This one. Oh goodness, so real. I am the effect. No. I am the one who chooses the effects I experience. I alone interpret all neutral relationships or experiences. I alone place value upon objects, things, thoughts, and belief systems. I alone am the literal creator of my moment to moment experience. And over and over again, the only valuable, really valuable, like creme de la creme, like gold, experience that you can have here is that of love. Loving yourself, loving what you're experiencing, loving the fact that Yudi is just chilling. As I'm talking about Yudi, Pippi is like, look at her. Oh, oh, here she comes. Oh, here she comes. Oh, they got my lovers you. Oh, look at them loving one another. Right? Existing in a state of love. They could be gnawing each other, trying to murder one each other right now, trying to fight, but no, love, 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 love. Okay, I'm gonna stop spazzing out. I think point made. Thank you, friends, for joining me. The fact that I've opened up onto a thing worth saying that is like so close to the fractal that I was trying to communicate with this dream state that I was in. What a trip. more synchronicity. Let me see. Eva, I'm busy right now, sweet girl. I don't love you any less. I don't love you any less, but there are states of consciousness that I need to occupy right now. Yeah, I need to occupy a state of consciousness that is not indicative of me using my meat sticks to attentions you. Thank you. Oh, okay. Good morning, Sam. Love is true. I was hoping to see those little cat ears yesterday. I wanted to make a joy, but I also wanted fluffy coffee. Fluffy coffee? Is this something I don't know about? Fluffy coffee? My mind is like having a hard time right now because I'm imagining like marshmallow-esque. Like I'm imagining a coffee, right? And like in the normal unit, like cup size that you usually get it in. But instead of it being liquid, it's like a type of foam. I'm not I'm not opposed to it. Sounds good to me. Sang Huffle's right. Again, love to you, dear friend. Fluffy coffee, right? I get it with a scoop of protein powder. Makes it better. I literally felt the sentence and I couldn't even read the whole thing. I knew you would. I knew you would, Kevo, right? Like we find ourselves in a world, in an education system at large as well, that is literally made to make factory workers. That's like basically what they designed it for, right? Turn people, human beings, with their infinite creative possibility into one mode of consciousness workers that can, produce more economies. Yes, more economies. Why? Why? Because more economies, good. But are human beings being benefited from it? No, no, no human economies, right? And the fact that you chose the bear out of all of the fractals that is available to you to be a poet by nature, dancer, warrior of light, it says so much about you. It says so much about all of you, friends. Thank you, dude, for finding yourself here right now. I literally felt the sentence. Fluffy coffee sounds wonderful. Is that a generic generic term for fancy coffee with foam or whipped cream, or is it a thing unto itself? I'm happy how all of us are like rendering fractals of like, what the hell is fluffy coffee? You know, like is it, or is it all, is this like coffee liquid added with some sort of thing that makes viscosity turning into something? Blue K? I don't know if I've seen your username before, but it's nice seeing you now. Sending you love-ins. Blessings to you, friend. Thank you for finding yourself in this space. It's a generic term, but you're pretty spot on. Okay. Okay. Just like stuff on top. Again, Alex, love-ins to you. It's nice having you. Josh Fro saying, this morning started out very warm here with almost no wind and no clouds. Sitting in the sunlight and soaking up the energies that come from the solar power, embracing the warmth. It's so trippy that you had to say exactly that. I went and meditated today, and it was still kind of cold. And as I said to you, friends, I did take a little bit of mushrooms today, 1.11 grams. And like there can be some weird temperature fluctuations within the self. It downregulates your amygdala and, you know, like other stuff as well that causes your temperature to be a little bit wonky. And then I was meditating, and then there was like some beams of sun hitting my body. And I was going into this experience of being like, yes, even though I feel kind of cold right now, I have this entity that is the sun external to me, providing its warmth, right? Millions of miles away. This energy I had to travel 8 minutes for me to be able to absorb it right now. I feel that, Joshmo. Sending even more love-ins, dude. What's new? I've been working steadily instead of ADHD bursts. Good, Brother Bear. I feel like my brain is like in a state of like being max tuned, like and my mouth is like controlling my smoking to a beautiful degree. Good. I actually smoked last night again. Full disclaimer. And you know, I smoked a little bit and then went into my hemisync meditations. And it was intense. Intense is putting it lightly. I reached the point of consciousness, you know, where I just found myself as a torus field, realizing that this embodiment of self is the center of the torus field, and what I'm seeing is the inner layer of the torus field being stared into. And then I saw souls running through this, you know, like center column of the torus field, and as it runs through the center column, it embodies inside of it, convincing itself that that is what it is, at least in that moment. And then it, you know, goes away and then refeeds back into the system. And I was like, yeah, human consciousness, or at least the extent thereof. You know, how much are we capable of that we don't even realize? Thinking about this, understanding that our state of reality right now might be just a state of what we all collectively believe. Right? If we all collectively stop believing that it's impossible for a human being to fly, we might be able to actually, right? And that's a little bit woo-woo, I know, but damn it, wouldn't it be cool to just be able to fly? Be like, yeah, how about flying? You know, how about within this matrix we find ourselves in of like matter, I can move my matter, right? Like in the same way I can move my arms, I can just move up and down as well. Yeah, why not? And then the rules are like, no, you can't do that though. You can't do that. And you are technically doing that. Like you're already breaking the rules a little bit. You just have to get good at it. Where's the yoga, Joe? I couldn't see my phone very well in the crazy sunshine. Were you at yoga? No, I don't think so. Suddenly the wind picked up and cooled the sweat off my brow, and the clouds rolled in, and the world seemed to wake up. Now I have an overcast, breezy environment, and the little critters are coming out. I'm happy that you manifested a better environment for yourself at the bear. Smoking. Hi, Kristen. Talking to my dad, but I'll be here soon. I'll hold space for you until you do. Lovins to you, friend. Jovan, sending you lovins as well. So nice having you. Saying love to all of our friends. So yeah, happy to melt here with you, friends. Jovan has been pushing herself to the max. Like the amount of self that she gives to others is astounding, to be completely honest. Shell is here too. Sending you love and dear friend. It's nice having you. Happy to meet you. I have a bunch of baby dogs that were hatched yesterday. Squeak! Jovan sent me a photo of the baby ducks that she was raising that they now kind of like put out into nature again. And I was just thinking to myself, as these little duck consciousnesses, having been taken care of, kind of like experiencing the comfort of having other entities take care of you and then being put back into the world and expecting of yourself to be taken care of, and just like how they were like this whole little bundle of like entities, being like you're duck and I'm duck and we're being ducks together. Like just I'm imagining their world, right? Like these little entities and the way they're experiencing their individual torus fields of, what consciousness means to them. How we get, so stuck. I was thinking about Pippi as well during my meditation today, how she loves living, so much. And even though she loves living, she really likes sleeping as well, And then when she sleeps, she goes somewhere else. I don't know if she's a dog wherever she goes, but she definitely goes somewhere else. I've heard her, go through like hectic dreams where she's like her breathing is like super agitated. I've seen her, chasing things. Like there's a whole little world behind this entity that we're seeing, right? And what I'm seeing is like, oh, a dog, right? Has snout, has a little face, has little ears. And that's technically what my consciousness is allowed to interface with. And it's the same for all of you friends, but there is so much more. There is so much more, all of the wisdom that has been gained throughout your entire life, all of your hopes and dreams, the aspirations you have to change things. But what we're seeing is an approximation of reality, right? And what you're seeing in me is but a mirror of you ultimately. Oh goodness, my brain is, it's feeding me. It was like, oh goodness. I'm imagining like I have a certain amount of RAM and like the RAM buffer is like completely stacked right now. All right, there's like information coming in and like my RAM buffer is full, and then I'm like trying to speak so I can empty the RAM buffer, and then as fast as I can speak, the RAM buffer is being like, nope. More information. Stop it, Sam. No, love is true. Gator food. No, goodness, you can't say stuff like that. Oh goodness. So savage. Tell the friends about the Bulgarian dancing video. Oh, I'm not streaming. Like my phone is just like laying, not being used. I wasn't streaming on live space. Guess it's now. I don't know if it's too late, but I don't feel drawn to it particularly. So Joy Vive sent me this video of a tradition in Bulgaria where these people dress themselves in these fursuits. Some of them can be fursuits. I don't even know if they have to be fursuits. And they look terrifying. Like straight up the video she sent me, I was like instantly like, the fuck am I watching right now? Right? Like it's like a visceral sense of like this ease comes over me of like, what's happening? What is going on here right now? And these suits are supposed to be scary. And as they dance with them, it's supposed to scare away evil spirits. And something that was specifically shared in that whole experience is that evil spirits are kind of like a word we use. And it's an approximation again. And then a woman tries to kind of like create some clarity on what an evil spirit is. And the first thing she says is an evil spirit is not wanting to be together. And I was like, we're washed with the sense of, oh wow. Oh, people understand. And then she went into like evil spirits can also be like famine or poverty or just a sense of lack, and how they have this whole tradition about dressing up in these suits, being all scary and then scaring away the spirits so that they, won't encroach on our lives. I appreciate you friends being a part of this dance with me, scaring away the spirits of lack of togetherness. Tell your friends, thank you again. Blue K, it's cool seeing your name, friend. What a blessing to have a new friend here. Nancy and Esrog joining us too. I hope everyone has had a restorative weekend. Even more blessings. Marshmallow-esque friends. I'm doing an exercise based on what Melt is saying. I feel blue about working again today. So I'm imagining something I love and conquering that feeling instead. I love that. I'm seeing a satellite. I don't know. That's what I saw first thing when I closed my eyes. It's a satellite, and it had like these solar panels, and the solar panels were melting away, and then there were new ones sprouting, and they were melting away. Blessings. Thank you, Shell, for being the expression of love in your workplace. Right? Like it can feel a little bit hopeless sometimes. This question of like, what the fuck am I even doing? Right? What's even happening? Why are we doing all of this as a question? And realizing that purpose, having a purpose, is what is of utmost importance if we're going to be able to continue. Realizing that as a reductionist approach, your purpose is to be the expression of love. And you can do that in so many ways. You can do that in a lot of ways. And figuring out, in what way you can be of service is, at least in my mind, what has served me. How can we serve each other better? Just asking myself that question is calm. Just allowing a sense of calm, right? Because with like our work, it can feel like there's such a rush, like there's something to get to, there's something that needs to be said, something that needs to be done, always something that needs to be done, and there's time constraints, and there are investors who want their monies, and they can sue you if you don't maximize profits. Calm. It's underrated, underappreciated, and almost like it's seen as apathy these days. Like instantly in my mind, there's this Gumball episode where they play this made-up game that have like cosmic rules, where if you pull a card and it says the floor is lava, if you step on the floor, it burns your feet now. And Gumball was in the state of calm, and then is it William slaps him, and is like basically trying to create like urgency at him, right? And he's like, "Thank you," and they're just screaming at each other. And that's like basically the state of being we're in right now. Like we have created a system where the rules, like our economy's rules, creates this deep sense of stress in our being, where if we stop, the wheels fall off, and the rules are kind of set right now, at least, and it's almost like we're and the show was like kind of like going into that theme as well. Like we have to get done with it, right? We have to get it done. And like, how do you get done with late stage capitalism? What is the process of finishing? And jokingly enough, they have to like roll even set of dice and then fall on the last bar. I don't like I'm trying to like interface with like concepts here that I don't even properly fathom myself. How are we supposed to save the world, right? With the current system that be, it's not going to be a financial thing. Us having more money isn't going to help us save the world, right? Like it's like fighting fire with fire. No, it can help to build things, right? But the things that need to be built, the things that are supposed to be built, aren't being built out of money. They're being built out of love, technically, right? If people don't love enough one another and an idea to actually, come together and create something, there is nothing. Like nothing. There's like nothing in the world if not for love. Remember some Star Treks? Let me see. Is that Reese? Reese Chinnery? Money printer go brr. Yeah, exactly. It's nice seeing your name as well, dear friend. I don't think I've I don't think I've seen your name before. I have a friend, or at least I used to, IRL, who was named Reese, but I don't know if that's you, Reese. Just it's nice seeing your name here, friend. Hey, Zano, joining us too. Sending you lovin's, dear friend. It's nice having you here. Let me see, love, love, love. I was wondering about the temperature thing, Melt, because 1 gram is my favorite weight. Yeah, 1.11 grams is it's up there, right? Like I feel these days, I'm not being called to take more than 2. Like I had like one day where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna see the depth of what the mushroom experience holds for me. And then I took that 7.77 grams. And I had my eyes peeled back. All right. Imagine just staring into the sun, but there is no eyelids and there is no looking away because the thing you're staring into is yourself. You're like, the fuck does that mean? I don't know. That's the way it came out. And I was like, oh, well, the I aming always and for infinity. Well, how about that? And then being able to come back and kind of like appreciating the fact that I am a body, at least right now, and that I get to be as a somebody to you in this moment. And then that means something, right? That there is love to be exchanged in this medium. I don't have to physically touch you to change your life, right? And that is something that is kind of more significant to me than being an entity capable of creating anything, right? So to articulate what I'm thinking right now, I believe every single one of us as consciousness is a godhead, right? That torus field, that observer, and then the field you're staring into as you're observed. And there should be love in that moment, right? You staring out into this world, finding things to love. But you can create in that context for yourself anything. And the way that my mind was trying to construct a simulacrum of that for myself is how I could be meditating and then someone could be angry at me and they could come up to me and scream in my face and be like, and I could just sit meditating, right? And reality will literally morph around me. That person will eventually get tired. Maybe they kill me or whatever, right? They get tired and then my reality will change. That person will go away and I'll be in a different state of being as a result of that as well. You know, like I know, how does that just feel to you? But just being in that meditative state, it's almost like the void of love in a way, right? You can love the experience you're getting to have. And there is a lot of love to be had in that experience because it does start from yourself. But then choosing out of that experience, out of the infinite experience you can have, to open yourself up to another person, to another entity that has this capacity to create the experience in you. Because you as a being are very powerful and you can create for yourself an experience of bliss, right? Infinite bliss. You can just bliss out. Blissing. Oh yeah, this is so nice. I am not being interrupted. I'm not being disturbed. I'm not being right? But there is more to be had than just in that experience. And then we come here, right? To be embodied, to meet other friends, to kind of like have them share their perspectives of us, and then having their perspective influence our perspective. And it creates a sense of novelty and a depth. I think that's the right word, a depth of experience that isn't available to you if you're only feeding into yourself ceaselessly, right? I think there's value in feeding into yourself as well, right? Loving the self for the sake of loving the self, for the sake of loving the self. But that shouldn't be the primary motive. Opening yourself up to service of others is something that allows more depth in this experience than anything we can create within ourselves for some reason. You know, it's like a loneliness, I guess. Maybe that's the way to kind of like finish the train of thought off. It's so nice when you're in a good mood, Melody. Thank you. I'm very conscientious of the fact that I want to be in a good mood for this space as well. joy. Like it's a sense of responsibility that I feel can be very heavy on me sometimes. And it's a joke, right? It's this self-fulfilling joke prophecy of me knowing that there is significance in this moment, of me showing up in a certain way, of me displaying, of you feeling what I'm displaying in your own fractal. And like tripping out about me not being ideal, and then I show up less ideal, and then you experiencing, and then me thinking about it. And I'm like, yeah, the human experience, and that's what I'm talking about, right? Like this fractal of knowing that if I'm just by myself, I can facilitate a good experience, right? Positive, loving experience for myself, and it will be good, and it will be just, and it will be pure. But showing up for others is going to come with a lot of noise sometimes, right? Extra influences, RAM buffering, right? Like information overload, overwhelm, etc., etc. But we are capable. We are so capable as human beings. We just have to figure out how to properly balance. And I appreciate you, friends, for being here with me as we learn how to. And duty calls, gotta go into the hands-free lurk mode. Love you, Jovan. Thank you for all the work you do. Imagining a big circle dance, wishing you all. Yeah, I mean, we do dance on Wednesdays, right? Like there's an energy for that, for us to dance the spirits away. This morning we have woodpeckers. Joe, like the amount of fractals that you're touching on right now, as I was like going through my afterlife meditation, I did like this whole saging thing where I was just walking around the perimeter with my like bundle of sage that I made myself. It's like lavender and some catnip and stuff and some lemongrass. And I was just like saging the farm. And then I walked down to the gate and I saw this woodpecker. And I was like, yeah. And I was thinking about Jovan, like having like little woodpeckers as babies that she's like raising right now as well. And the fact that you mentioned them tapping away and chirping joyfully. So much synchronicity right now. We're being ducks together, exactly. Right? Confused as to how large the world is. Like so confused. Right? People don't fathom how large just our planet is, right? In comparison to our human beings. Never mind the scale of our universe. Oh, goodness. The fact that we get to have this calm, conscious, peaceful, at least in some ways, experience, is almost unfathomable. I can fly in my dreams. I have never been able to properly fly in my dreams. I have weightlessness in my dreams, where I have this thing where I go, and then I just go, woo! And then I'll like move my hands like this, and it'll be like whoosh, and I go whoosh, and there's like this flowiness to it, and people are kind of okay with it as well, where they're like, yeah, that's normal, I don't see any problems with this. Oh goodness, my mind is getting taken on trips. Thank you, Blue K, for sharing as well. I have to get up high, jump, and spread my wings. You have actual wings? Do they come out like angel wings from your back, or are they like attached to your arms? I'm curious. Beautiful morning. We're being humans together. I flew once in a dream too. It seems so real. Our consciousness is capable of flying, and it knows how to. I think that's the joke. Apparently, if you used to be able to fly in your dream and then you don't have the ability to anymore, it can be like a fractal of almost like feeling powerless, feeling grounded, feeling like you don't have that freedom anymore in your life. Lucid dreaming can be an experience worth pursuing. But again, I really do value this collective dream we're in right now. Blue, heck yeah, that stuff is so much fun. I usually run and then take one big jump in the air and then stay aloft when I have flying dreams. You see, like that's also the thing for me, like a weightlessness where you have to like you gain momentum, and then you can use that momentum in the air, right? It's like no, and then you go, oh, and then you can like direct the energy as you. Like I don't know how is that even possible? And in that space, like when you're dreaming of that space, it makes perfect intuitive sense what it is you're doing. All right. There's no like, wait a second, I can't fly. None. Like not even a thought. There's just like, oh yes, this thing I do where I fly and I'm weightless and I don't have to worry about gravity and stuff. Call cloud dancing and just weightlessness. Right? Skimming the flora and fauna for a few miles and then back to Earth to find another mountain to climb or a good tree. I love mycology. Yes. I don't know how that fractal came up, but me too. We probably wouldn't exist as a species right now if not for fungal networks conditioning our soil for trees to grow, trees figuring out a system of like good seed delivery, eventually arising as human beings. My mind, please, please, mercy, mercy, mind. Sometimes it's like having a wingsuit of a jetpack, just slide over the landscape. It's so much fun. I don't have like landscape dreams. Like it's kind of like a part of me is mildly envious, is being like, why, why can't I have dreams of flying over massive flower fields and mountainscapes, etc. Mine is usually kind of like basic, where I find myself in my normal human environments. Sometimes even in like supermarkets, weirdly enough. And then there's weightlessness. I'm like, oh yes. I'm gonna go around this aisle and then oh goodness, what have we done to humans? Please, please, we need to go back to nature, back to monkey. Reese, Gumball is freaking hilarious. I really love it. It's like one of the lighthearted fractals that I get to expose myself to right now. There's so much fear in the collective psyche right now, especially with our financial system potentially completely melting away over the next 20 years. Just like, the collective consciousness just screaming. Oh goodness. Star Trek says more wars over dumb stuff. And then first contact after a bottlenecking extensional event. Yeah, Star Trek is gonna be wrong. You know, we don't have to literally, you know, almost extinction event ourselves before we need to change, right? Like there's like it feels like a little bit of a leap of faith, you know, that happens there. It's like, how about, you know, get me? I know this is hard. How about we don't bomb each other into near extinction before stopping extinctioning ourselves? Like there is going to be a population collapse in our lifetimes as well. So I feel like as a result of all of these converging fractals, you know, the changing of the monetary system, AI, kind of like making work obsolete, essentially automation in robotics away a lot of these things that we were mindlessly every single day, you know. And then there's going to be this population collapse where there's going to be less human beings in the next 100 years than there are right now. And then if we don't figure something out, right, if there's not a certain level of awakening that happens within the self, then we are doomed for extinction, right? We don't have to extinction event ourselves by bombing each other. We're just going to stop having kids because we don't see this world as beneficial or as welcoming, you know, to more souls. And we need to, I believe, we're going to create a world that is actually going to be, you know, worthy of the future entities that will come here. People are still being born, you know, hey, who needs tears? Sending you love and friend. People are still being born. That's still happening. A kid just got born. Blessings, dear Wood. Blessings to you, right? And he's gonna help us save the world as much as you are. Like it's not over. I feel like that is something we have to keep stressing to one another. Like this thing we're going through is not over. There is no over. There's no done. There's literally no done ever. It is ceaseless. Literally ceaseless. It's the infinity as you awakening to the self, as you awakening to the self. I want to be happy. I'm not happy right now. How to be happy? Purpose. You know, that's the word that comes to my mind. That's how I've found happiness in myself, Alex, is allowing myself, at least, even if it's conceptual, a sense of purpose, right? Showing up every single day and believing that what I'm showing up for is valuable. And it doesn't have to be something glamorous. You don't have to have the whole world as an audience. You don't have to have people throwing copious amounts of money at you. If you show up for something and you love doing it, right? Creating something new, serving someone, even if it's like, weirdly enough, a fractal that's been coming up in my mind is a part of me just wants to rub aloe vera goo on people's faces. Yeah, I know, weird. I know weird. I know it's weird. Please stop. Don't stop telling me. But that really is how simple it is. That you can, in that simple way, be of service. You know, make a whole business. Be like, I'll rub aloe vera goo on your face. You know, hit me up. I'll come to your place. Put some aloe vera on your face. Right? Am I conveying what I'm trying to say? That that is how we, kind of like serve as an antidote, to the sense of dread, giving ourselves purpose, giving ourselves something to do, and then knowing in doing that you are making the world a better place, even if it's something as simple as putting aloe vera on someone's face. Hello, friend. Love is true. I ate 15 grams. Okay. Oh, yesterday. It was rough. How about that, Reese? How about that? The fact that you went through that fractal recently. I don't know what the one-to-one, for truffles is, but that does sound like a rough experience. I understand you so well right now. Of course, you had to be here, for this space, after going through that Netherlands vibes, what are vibes? Joburg accent, Bob's. Does Melty have a Joburg accent? No, I don't think so. I think a Joburg accent is a little bit more like this. You have people like really speaking like this. I don't think I have a Joburg accent. 15 grams, that's intense. It's like fresh JMF, just a few for love. Yeah. At this point, I've kind of like allowed myself the experience of having my ego completely desolated and melted. Right? Melting away almost, melting more to the point where I have to kind of keep telling myself, yeah, oh, I know you're getting disintegrated right now, but remember, there's more for you to be disintegrated. This like ceaseless churning, renewing of yourself over and over and over and over again. That doesn't stop. It does not stop. But speeding that process up by, exposing yourself to more information by eating like 15 grams of mushrooms. That's a lot, and it's not comfortable. That's the thing. Like we find ourselves in a state of comfort being a person, having luxury of eating a potato chip, right? And knowing that this is not necessarily good for us, and we shouldn't be doing this 3 meals a day, 7 days a week. But there can be joy, there can be a sense of pleasure in just this moment, getting to have this finite experience. And, I've noticed that when I'm in that space, it's like it's like I cannot fully appreciate how beautiful this experience is, even though I'm overwhelmed by the amount of beauty of this experience. You can't appreciate it because it's like rushing past you, like washing over you. Shanna, I will definitely get some pictures of the little ones today. I get a blurry photo on Discord yesterday in the and the hashtag pets, I think. Thank you, Joshmo, for sharing with us. I'll check it out. When I think of that Godhead fractal, because I've thought of it before too, we are one bulb of an infinite broccoli. When I get sick, I feel like the whole broccoli. You are the whole broccoli. That's the thing, like there is no separation. It's like the drop is in the ocean and the ocean is in the drop, as understanding, right? Like we as consciousnesses, as people, arise from the infinite ocean. And then when that drop comes out of the ocean, we're like, oh yeah, look, it's a drop. And then as that drop falls back into the ocean and becomes, one with the surface, we're like, oh yes, ocean. But at what point do we make that distinction of like, yes, now drop, now ocean? There is no separation. There is benefit in being an ego, and considering ourselves an individual. and kind of like facilitating and participating in this world as such. But it should be this deep realization that there is no separating us, that we are a part of something larger than ourselves, and that it doesn't make you any less, it doesn't make you any more. It makes you part and parcel too, right? The kingdom of heaven is in you, right? It's not something you'll find later. Happiness isn't something you'll find later. Happiness is gonna be inside of you, a part of you. Infinite broccoli. Damn, I love that Zana. It's cool, right? Little duckies are possible, the cutest thing on the planet they can be. I have to disagree with Joe. Have you ever seen baby buns? I love the one broccoli bob image. I'm so very excited for this Wednesday abundance dance. I'm like kind of like stressed about it because I made promises about the music I'm dancing to, and now my ego is kicking in, being like, "Bro, you're gonna do what? You can't dance to that music, bro. Like people are gonna judge you." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the point, though. Like I'm trying to open myself up to fractals that aren't even aware of me. Yeah, that's good way to articulate. I had a dream about baby buns last night. Yes, they're very adorable. I used to raise rabbits. The little ones are so precious. That's so cute. Melt wishes. I'm wishing right now. So much wishing happening as rock. I can fly anytime if I get a good run and take off. Love it. I fly because of my speed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Energy contributing. I've got so many Burby pigs to dump on you in Discord. Being a part of the whole rehabilitation process from the intake to release was and continues to be, I believe, such a blessing. As I'm talking about Burbies, there's a Quavefull flying past me with his cool mohawk. You cool, dude. It looks so cool. Oh yeah, I'm talking about you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I am. It's a cool mohawk you got. You wanna see him? It's that dude. That guy right there. Can you see his mohawk? What's wrong with me? Yeah, cool dude. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I like your do, bro. Which friends? What do you mean friends? Usually they kind of like being in groups. They're very social burbs. I'm feeling for that dude. Or did that. Oh man, I'm gonna swappity back to get my yeah, sick. Can't wait to see. Love is true. The eyes are still closed. Oh, you're so cute. Comprehensible and true. What a blessing. Mel dreams of grocery store shopping. And why not? Yeah. It is kind of weird. Like I don't actually get to expose myself to that experience. You know, like being in a grocery store. Like the thing that's been weird for me is the fact that I want more underwear. Part of being a person, right? And just thinking to myself, huh, being on the farm makes it hard for me to get new underwear. How about that? What a thing to notice. What an experience to have. No, grocery store, fancy. Hey, Doctor, it's nice having you here, dear friend. Melty, the last guy who suggested, why don't we all just get along? Got strung up on a tree, yeah. And then one of them got crucified. One of them, you know, zenned out so hard that he sat underneath a tree for months at a time. Like, we keep getting wrecked. We keep getting wrecked, Sam, over and over again. And we keep coming back being like, hey, how about this? How about we just stop killing one another and try and get along? And it's like, fuck that guy. Who is he to tell us to get along? I'm not getting along with someone who tells me to get along with. And it's like, yeah, oh well, guess I'm getting killed again this round. I'm fine with it. I can't die. I'll come back again. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Until it sticks. Until the resonance kind of like hits. You know, the whole 1 out of 100 monkeys thing. That I don't know if it's even true. Like let's say conceptually it's true, where they dropped. Like again, I don't know if it's true, but it makes so much intuitive sense to me. So I'll just share it as like a dream. Imagine this dream I had, right? Where there was this research group that dropped a bunch of potatoes on the beach. And there were these wild monkeys who have never had, any people or any civilization, exposed to them. And they come onto, this pile of potatoes on the beach, but they're covered in sand, and they try to eat the potatoes and it goes crunch, crunch. And they're like, fuck this, dude, this sucks. I don't want to eat potatoes that have sand on them. This it's not enjoyable. And out of this group of 100 monkeys, one of the monkeys takes the potato, walks into the water, and washes it, cleaning it off the sand, eating the potato and enjoying it. And as soon as that realization is made, the entire group of monkeys take the potatoes, wash them, and enjoy the food that they're eating. Right? Right? Like, just conceptually, that is what we're trying to do as a species. Right? And the potato we're trying to get people to eat right now is love. But love has been bastardized to mean something romantic, to be something that you should get from someone else. Right? And we need to wash ourselves of that grainy, expectation-y, jealousy-ridden, like part of what love is supposed to mean, a state of being. I'm tripping out. Preschool starts today. Had to get the kid out the door by 9:30. She is not a morning person. Our school in South Africa starts at 7 a.m. We have to be at school at 7 a.m. I'm getting angry just thinking about it again. I'm like, what the I remember so painfully and viscerally wanting to always be moving, where I would wish that my dad would get a new job somewhere else so that I can move with them to this new place, so that I can try and make friends with the people at school again. Like almost having this experience of, oh, yeah, something is not working. I need to get away from here and then go somewhere else and then retry this thing that I'm failing at. Right? And there's like, just in hindsight, kind of like thinking to myself, how as a child I had such a hard time getting along with people. I still do in large part because I'm a little bit, by traditional definitions, crazy, right? And it's so crazy how what we consider crazy is basically people who see parts of reality that do not facilitate their survival, right? And I could see parts of reality that does not facilitate my survival in the school system, right? It could facilitate me being a worker bee, it could facilitate me being obedient, but it didn't facilitate my survival. And I could see it. And I couldn't explain to myself, even, or to others, the absurdity of the situation that we were in. And it was like basically the base of my consciousness when trying to talk to other kids. And they would be like, "What the fuck's wrong with you, dude? Why are you like this?" And I'm like, "Bro, I don't." Yeah, it's yours. Love you. Yeah, and I'm not like, loving your water is also probably a little bit crazy, but I believe in that stuff. You're made up of water. When you speak, you induce vibrations that echo throughout your entire body. I can taste my remedy in the water as well. Thank you, Shan. One of the remedies that Shan gave me this time around is something called walnut. And it's supposed to help you create a little bit more clarity about the direction you're supposed to be going in. And I mentioned to her, after my meditation, I came back, like today's meditation was about fear, and kind of like there's so many tangents happening at the same time, but in this meditation practice, you basically put yourself in a box. This fleshy part of yourself, you put it in a box, and then after you put yourself in the box, your consciousness is disembodied, and then you have this capacity to experience in the spiritual realms. And it was a practice of going back to the box and then opening the box and then finding in the box the things that scare you, the things that create this sense of fear in your being, and then transmuting that energy into something more loving. And it was surreal. I found myself again in that dream state where these consecutive layers, right, melting off of itself for itself to create a sense of self. And I could see these points of pain almost like being like, how can I explain this? Uh, so we have these things called full enta. On a tree, birds will poop on them, and then there'll be seeds in that bird poop. And then that seed will kind of like attach itself to a branch and then try and grow a thing of itself, right? And that can be harmful to the trees, but doesn't necessarily have to be, but more often than not it is, right? And it was like in that way, this infinite, self-melting off of itself energy, and then these pain points like seeds, planted so long ago, in one way or another, growing of itself, and not facilitating the flow of energy that I was needing. And I was just during this meditation going to these things and then washing it, kind of like creating this energy and then almost like making a bubble of this thing and then letting it float up to the surface, away from the rest of my being. And coming back from the meditation, I I could feel this deep resonation and understanding of what I'm here to do, the role I'm supposed to be playing, and how the role I'm trying to play has been has been made, I don't know if obsolete is the right word, been made to be seen as, woo woo, airy fairy, like I'm not providing any value. Just because, the value I'm providing cannot be seen in capital gains or, materialistic, manifestation, it isn't seen as valuable. And I could just take on this deep sense of responsibility. I took my sage and then I walked around the perimeter, saging the area, and I could understand and feel that this is what I'm supposed to do. It's the value that I'm providing, and it doesn't have to be seen, it doesn't have to be appreciated, it doesn't have to be celebrated by anybody else other than me. Loving the fact that I get to be this being, as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, fulfilling my purpose. I made kid, I do good. Yes, your biology is being like, yeah, good job. Good job, procreations. Like my biology has been screaming at me, bro, being like, you should be procreating. And I'm like, dude, please, please, oh, I don't need anything. I don't need to anything. Stop biologies. Stop it. And biology being like, and I'm, shh, relax. You're fine. Everything's fine. I thought it was school ending time. I had 2 hours to do nothing at all. I don't know how to do this nothing thing. Spend like just like set yourself a timer of like 11 minutes and 11 seconds and just breathe. It's harder than you think. It's like, wait a second, doing nothing is hard? Yes. Effectively doing nothing is hard because you'll find yourself breathing. And then your mind will start, oh, this other thing I have to banana and banana mascara anima banana and mascara amanama and oh man. And you'll have to bring yourself back over and over and over and over and over again. And it is hard. It's very hard to do that, but it is good for you. Please do take moments to just be with yourself. Kind of like, and then let yourself, go through those mental narratives as well. It's not bad, right? It's not bad necessarily, but it is not you, ultimately. You are the thing experiencing. You are the thing that is actively participating in this exchange of energy. Genevieve, it's a summer person, 2 hours once a week. She needs to have something like this for meeting kids her age. Not many little ones by us. Yeah, I love your us. I will, 100%. Ezra, joy, nothing to do for me, but the hardest thing I face in life. It's not my fractal. Yeah, it's not easy. My wings are my arms. Good. Yeah, I turn into that turn into angel wings. If I'm high enough, like a pelican at the beach, gliding over the waves. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing it with me, Blue K. Mel, you want to be an aesthetician? I love this fractal. I want to love people, and I feel there is love to be shared in aloe vera in people's faces as well. I it's just a matter of, how much we can do and realizing that there are so much for me to do and that I find myself, and like Eva kind of like beautifully helped us communicate that fractal that there are states of being that I find myself in. For instance, right? If I had to now in this moment aloe vera someone's face, it wouldn't facilitate this experience where we get to have this moment with one another. That doesn't mean I love this space more necessarily than this love of the person aloe veraing their face, but it does mean that there are states of energy for different moments in being, and it's difficult for us to separate and to draw lines and to not be jealous and to not trip ourselves out about what that means, like for instance, having friends, and then our friends getting busy with things and getting caught in their own worlds and not being able to reply to us. And then we see that lack of replying, could potentially see that lack of replying as them not caring about us or them not thinking about us, etc., etc. 1111, more synchronicity. When that's not the case, right? They're just in a state of being that they need to be in at that moment of their existence. And kind of like learning how we can just, facilitate more more calm state of being instead of like the amount of expectation that comes along with that. I know, Peppy, talking about. Oh, yeah, a state of being. Like this. This is a little conscious entity. Yeah, touching your third eye. This is a conscious entity. Like she knows of her own existence, and I get to, in this existence that she is a part of, facilitate love. She gets to feel vulnerable, trusting enough to come and sit on my lap. She knows that I won't hurt her. Like for instance, when she's naughty, and I pretend to be like, hey, she'll wag her tail, be like, what you gonna do? Oh, what you gonna do? Like no fear whatsoever. It's beautiful in a way. I learned eventually that aloe vera has lactic acid, which is good to maintain youthful skin. Aloe is a good natural toner. I've been aloe veraing my skin as of late. Hopefully I'll be 22 very soon. Once again. I stay at school for the first couple of times in case kiddo has an issue. Love is true. Thank you for being such a present dado, dude. I love doing nothing, duck. I was born tired. Aloe vera, you're amazing. No, you, Alex. I am a reflection of you. Right. Reflections. Reflections of reflections. You know a suspicious amount about aloe vera. Did you just make that up? No, no, like it has like I think vitamin A and vitamin C as well. It has antioxidants. It like aloe vera goo is pretty good for your face. It's good stuff, yo. Who needs tears saying, I have a huge aloe plant. I slather that goodness all over myself. I want to know or keeps how it keeps my skin looking so amazing. So I did some light research. Good. Yeah, just knowing, right? That Mother Nature has already given us everything we need. I also put like we have like this big swath of like aloe vera plants, and then I go and pick myself like a leaf, and then I put it on my face, and I like pick from underneath, of course, and then it grows upwards, and it's a pretty cathartic experience, you know, knowing that I'm putting plant goo on myself and that it's good for me, and just thinking about the process, the steps to getting to that point, the fact that it just works, it works so well, it works so well. This universe, the fact that you as a body, right? it works. It works surprisingly well, and it's a worthy experience to be had. Getting back to nature, loving it after all. I have a bunch of aloe plants growing, green and yellow. Growing up, it was the only thing we used for sunburns. Yeah, it works great for that. Aloe addict. It's a huge problem. Raw aloe is an amazing hair treatment. It makes a little bit of prep, and you gotta soak your hair for a while, but it's death worth it. I should probably start doing that as well, actually. I think I use broccoli as a diagram. Yes, we are the everything. Exactly. I love it. I'm not trying to say that it's wrong. For me, instead of broccoli, I see it as a sprouting tree of life, right? So broccoli attached to itself at the base, broccoliing upwards, broccoliing downwards. That's like my fractal. Broccoli is not a good hair conditioner. Just clarifying. I have to go into lyric mode. Nancy will be here holding space for you. Nice mohawk, dude. Not there anymore. This Wednesday, we are taking Duckling on her actual birthday hike. Glacier cannons and waterfalls. I'll miss the dance, but I'll be as close to heaven as possible. You'll be in the moment, right? Loving it. And that's what's most important. You tortured us with Diggy Diggy Hole. I can't imagine you giving one fuck that you're gonna dance to. It was a torture. Like Diggy Diggy Hole is stuck in my head as well. It's still stuck in my head. I am it. Oh goodness, no stop. So we'll do like, hey Nikki, you're so fine, you're so fine. Oh wow. Quiff will sit atop the tree, it owns the land around it. Yeah, to that entity, this whole world is for it, and it loves being. Otherwise it would cease to. Who needs tears? If you have a raw plant, there's a special way to harvest the goop, and you have to cut it with water. But once you get the mixture right and enough of it to put in a bowl, chef's kiss. I usually take like a leaf, and ours are a little bit thinner. It's not like the big, aloe vera leaves. It's like that, and then it kind of like tapers off, and then I cut off the little thorns on the sides, and then I split it, and it goes. And then from that splitting, there's this, slimy gooness. And then I put the slimy goo on myself, and my skin being like, wow, so hydrations. And I'm like, yeah, get hydrated skins. What's happening? Like no extra processes for me. Like that's the thing, right? The fact that like a process as simple as just separating these two, little membranes from one another creates like this substance that serves as a moisturizer. And one thing more on these. Yeah, exactly. I need to help with my aloe. Mine is less than abundant, so I feel terrible harvesting it. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing for me as well. Like I think we have more than enough, but I still feel bad harvesting it because I'm like, and this is the way my mind thinks. Like if everybody started harvesting this plant right now, it would be desolate in like seconds. So I'm like, should I be? Yeah, we should grow more. Funny grocery store story. When we were dating, my wife was sleep talking, and all of a sudden she yells, Mike, you are the worst grocery shopping companion I've ever had. We were like 23. To be fair, I am the worst grocery shopping companion. What does that entail? Do you get distracted? Do you want to buy things you don't need? Like what facilitates a good grocery shop companion? Not saying anything? Knowing exactly what you want? Like I don't even know. I just bought new underwear last night from eBay, and no, they weren't used. No, like not everything on eBay is used. Just a person to person way of like selling things at this point. Sending me a picture of your plant. I love a potatoey beach. Details as a kid. Pair of underwear. 10 years old. What? What? How's that possible, Joe Schmo? How is it possible that you have a pair of underwear 10 years old? My underwear gets eaten by a demon, dude. And like some of your friends know exactly what I'm talking about. Like there's a demon that eats the underwear, Like it doesn't last longer than a year basically. I'll definitely when I get home or remember, I appreciate you. Please do. One of the first college classes. Oh, 7:30 a.m., 7 a.m. Yeah. Our class still to this day school starts primary school. They send actual 7-year-olds to school at 7 a.m. Still happening now. Like we do get off of school like around 2 p.m. So that's like I guess a difference. But yeah, it's a little bit brutal. Making the neurodiverse start the earliest cruel and torture it is. And it's been proven that our brains don't absorb the information that they're trying to force into it at that early of the day as well. Like they're double whammying themselves. Hey Luke, even the dog doesn't approve. She's uh snoring, growling at Yudi when you start getting closer. Like she really is a jelly bobelli, little doggo. I love her anyway, even though it makes me angry. 7 a.m. No, I wouldn't go to school. Welcome to my fractal. Sano. I still don't want to go to school for the version of me that went to school already and is done with it. Like I'm still in the space of like deep bliss, the fact that I don't have to go to school anymore. And they like straight up arrest you if you don't send your kids to school. You know what? Please mercy. In high school, the bus started pick up around 6:15 in the morning. Yeah, here too. So early, making the new reverse season. If I was about the parents, the kids would be in school all year round. Early hours and long homework assignments are accustomed to children to the slave labor force in the US. Yeah. Also, means that you don't have to take care of them, Like, yeah, let me give my children, the actual offspring of my being, to the government during their most formative years of their entire existence so that they can be brainwashed. Because I don't want to do that. And then we're like, oh, what's happening to society? Oh, wow, like people are so selfish, Oh, people only are obsessed with money. It's like, oh, yeah, it's almost like we've been conditioned for our entire upbringing to believe that that's the way it should be. Follow orders, make money, do thing, good, you do good thing, Here, have like 10. Oh, you want more than 10? Okay, have 100. Yeah, 100 good. Yes. Oh, you want more? 1,000. Yeah, good. Oh, so good. Oh, yeah. Oh, 10,000. Wow. You're so fucking great. And it's an approximation. The amount of brain damage. Please undo the brain damage that our school has done on us. Our children, our poor children. And then literally being faced with like legal, consequences if you decide, no, I don't think I want to send my kids to that, literal prison, a conditioning prison, I don't know if I want to do that. It's like, oh yeah, straight to jail. straight, you go straight to jail. Good workers, exactly. New California. Now in California, it's legal for schools to start before 8:30. What the fuck's wrong with people, yo? Did they have the electrified fence? We didn't have electrified fences, but we did have barbed wire over our fences. Like straight up, it's impossible for us to get outside of school grounds. Like that's literally my school system. It's like, oh yeah, you put in box, and then you have like 8 different boxes you have to be in a day, and then sometimes for some box you have to double box, and double box sucks, especially if it's math, where you look at your boxes and you're like, oh fuck, I have double box of this subject that I fucking hate right now. And then if you even wanted to escape, you'll have to like try and scale barbed wire in order to try. Like what have we done? What have we done? Please, humans, teach kids how to grow food. Teach kids how to take care of one another. Teach kids how to, be proper listeners. Teach kids how to be critical thinkers. Stop teaching kids how to follow instructions. We're not here to follow instructions. Walnut is protection and adapt to change. Oh, wild oat is for life path. Thank you for correcting me. Like that's why Shan is the practitioner and I am but the client. Remember? Technically, right? Yes. Thank you for teaching me, medicine mother. Well, we were kinda in prison, Sam. Kinda? Or kinda? What do you mean kinda? Like there was you being in a place against your will and there was no escape, right? That sounds like prison. Hey Google, define prison. Prison, a building in which people are legally held as a punishment for a crime they have committed or while awaiting trial. The only punishment or the only crime you committed is existing, with the school system. It's like, oh, you exist and you happen to be a child? Yeah, get punished though. Get put in building legally, holding you. As it felt like punishment. I don't know about you, friends, but I didn't enjoy a single moment of school. The only valuable skills I gained is being able to read. And then being able to read, I could expose myself to information that was actually of value, not the brain damage they were trying to teach me. But I could read when I was freaking grade two. Like if my parents, gave me like a stack of books. And at this point now, an AI assistant, for me to kind of just like ask questions to, I would have been a radically different person. But again, right, it had to be the way it had to be for us to be the way we are, to find ourselves in this moment so that we can actually change it. So, or silver linings and stuff, right? Yeah, silver linings, damn it. Before the school shootings, they literally put change and padlocks on the doors of the school. 90s were wild. Yeah, they still do that in South Africa. We didn't have school shootings as much, at least here, which is, I guess, good. Good South Africa. Not kids killing kids because they're so freaking alienated and separated, from their own humanity. Never mind humanity in general, their own. Like this system that we've built separates us from our own humanity, right? Conditioning us to believe that your value is in numbers. Your value is in the tasks you complete. Your value is in following instructions day after day. Like that is what we've been conditioned to see as our value. And then we don't understand how there are people who have so little value, see so little value in humanity that they're willing to go and kill others. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of our society, and something needs to change. Something needs to give. Da-da-da-da. You are an interpreter. I am. I do believe this. Kind of. So I'm just gonna guess what they thought. They were locked. Wander off. What in the fuck? Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's still the case here in South Africa. They lock you inside. Like not inside the actual buildings, but they do lock you inside the school perimeter. Bubbles of seeds born of poop detached and floating away. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Esrog. That's perfect. Hi. Come here together. We're all our friends and listen to how we interpret the universe on any given day. And that interpretation changes, right? But in my mind, interpreting through the lens of love allows for more love instead of less. And that's beneficial in my mind, at least. Does eating walnuts have the same effect? I wonder. I think it's like the walnut flowers, right? Specifically, like the Bach flower remedy system is kind of like attached to the frequencies that the flowers kind of embody, and then putting those frequencies in a medium that can absorb it, water or something like that, and then transmitting those frequencies to the body, by taking the remedies. Did that at school, so unsafe, absolutely. Downloaded the new huge Huey book to my Kindle, so I'm about to bounce and read. Haven't read in months. Please do. I've been being called to read We Little Men. I've been feeling Louisiana's consciousness, thinking about me reading it. And I'm like, I know Louisiana's consciousness. I know. I am getting to it. I'm gonna start listening to it while I'm cooking. I'm not eating right now because I decided to, but I'll get to it. I need to. I went back to that beautiful, forgotten his name, Mr. something reads a story. I have like his whole playlist saved onto my my digital stuffs as well. So I have it. I know where it is. It is calling to my consciousness actively. I'm full of appreciation and warmth from this given day, and the universe is blessing each and every one of us with every breath we take. Yes. Thank you, Joe, for breathing love, releasing fear, breathing love, releasing fear. New energy in, stale energy out. I would like to be sage and my face rubbed with aloe vera. Thank you. In time, it will be so. Zano, manifest with me. Esrog, I think you would get some of the effect, but maybe not as potent as the essence. Yeah, the essence is like a concentration thereof. French toast sticks time. French toast sticks sounds nice, especially since the fact you have a Frenchie on your profile picture. That's like where my mind went to first. Kristen gets me every time. Love is true. I see in you much in common with the mystics I studied. You seek direct experiential knowledge of the ultimate truth, and that takes a lifetime. Yeah, that's why I'm willing to do it for a lifetime, Shell. I really am, and it's this duality of my ego wanting things, wanting more tools, wanting to build buildings that people can come together and experience unity within, wanting to build housing, wanting to build, food networks that feed people, without expecting them to pay for it. Like wanting of an ego perspective, all of these things, the material side, right? The physical, tangible, the stuff we can touch. And then realizing that my work is within the mystical, the disembodied, the untouchable. And there is so much more for me to experience in that side than I could ever be able to touch with my physical being. And then realizing that I don't have to, right? That this process that we're a part of is a lifelong one. Getting to know the self, getting to know this self, getting to know Meltmore, who Meltmore is, what Meltmore is going to do for the world, what he's supposed to be, what the world needs of him, right? If there is this void, a need that needs to be filled, right? How is he going to do that? And how can I help? I appreciate you, friends, being willing to help me as well, as I'm helping you, right? I wish that I could do more. That's like the big thing. Even though melt more, and this is one I've been reminding myself of recently, it's also a willingness to try and melt that part of me that wants to just ceaselessly be more, do more, like melt that, like let it dissipate a little bit, because it's inevitable. There will be more, inevitably. So it shouldn't be something we expect of ourselves as much as it's something we should expect in general, right? Like it's going to be that way. There will be more abundance, more freedom, more love to be shared, more people to love, etc., etc. And it's not about the more, it's more about being able to be loving in this moment, to not seek more from a perspective of this isn't enough, but being willing to receive more in love. And the ego gets in the way. Yeah, I know, baby. I know. Yeah, it gets in the way all the time. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks when the ego gets in the way. Because it's supposed to help. Like I'm trying to befriend this ego, but he's kicking my teeth in sometimes. Peppy, sweetie heart, yeah. Happy, I can spread some laughter. French toast sticks time. Like, I don't know if that's like a quote from somewhere or you're just making yourself French toast sticks. Both of them, seem like worthy fractals to me. I'm such a pain to grocery shop with. I have to carefully inspect and select all my produce. Oh goodness. Oh, I am horrible to shop with. Now I'm realizing the fractal. It's just like, oh, am I going to put this stuff in my body? Do I want to be putting this stuff in my body? Meanwhile, the person shopping with you is like, bro, come on. I just want to get done with this. I don't want to be doing this anymore. Can we just finish up, please? I was like, no, I have to read label. Eventually, this might be like a little bit, no, not even that far. We'll just have like either like a pair of glasses, or maybe even our own eyes, or maybe like a little device that has a camera interfacing with our world. And then we can just look at a product and be like, is this shit good for me? And the thing is like, no, I don't think that sounds good for you. And being like, I'm gonna put it down. Picks up apple. Is this good for me? In moderation, yes. Good. Puts it in basket. Dang, now I want some French toast. Me too, Joshua. I also want some fucking French toast. No, dude. No, I don't need French toast. I have fat. Gotta whip that stuff up for her lunch, my thing. I mean, that's one way. Live vicariously, please. Joy sending Luke some lovin's as well. Even Dove doesn't approve. All dogs. You can feel it even without kids. Yeah, it's the constant thought and effort to keep brainwash just in check. Yeah. Always asking what he's learning and questioning it with him. It is a process, right? This conditioning that we have been made almost like to accept, to be told what to think, to be told what to feel, to be in this state of like outreach, to be like, oh, I'm gonna click on this person's face to let them tell me how they feel about the situation. And then by listening to how they feel about the situation, I can kind of gauge how I feel about it. And there is value in that. But I feel there's even more value in realizing that we're not our feelings. We're not our matter alone. We are that, but we are not it, any more than a knife cuts itself. Hmm. Yeah, I guess my mom is going somewhere. Right? And she doesn't owe me an explanation. She doesn't have to tell me where she's going. But I would really like to know, right? I care about my mom. I care about her life. And she probably cares about me too by not telling me. That's the joke, right? And still my ego is like, oh, she was gonna jump on my cup of water. She's there chasing cows again. Okay, always asking, no, plants are such lovely gifts. Yes, they are. My ex is the worst to shop with. He would disappear within seconds the moment my back was turned, like some kind of fucking wizard. Clips out of existence. And you being like, almost like in a state of like talking to this person and then turning around and then not seeing them there and being like, tears, love is true. Melt is here late. Yeah, I mean, it's not that late. Like, it's pretty much the same time. We're an hour and 30 minutes in right now. Love, love. Love you too. There was one campuses here. If kids take off on the parents, so someone will eat the punishment. Yes. I don't know what that means, unfortunately. Perhaps you're just super early tomorrow. Maybe. Good morning again. It's nice having you here, Hoopy. Sending you blessings, dear friend. Awesome, Melt. You'll get to it. I will. I will. I will. But I can't feel it. I can't feel myself being called to it, Louisiana. So, like, you have put those wheels in motion. That information will be absorbed into my being, and it will facilitate even more of the work that I'm doing. I appreciate you influeing me. I'm not being like, oh, how dare dare you influence? I'm being like, thank you, thank you. I love all of the influence. That's exactly it, Mel. That's the way. Planting a tree, knowing you'll never get to sit in the shade. Only then will you understand the meaning of life. The Buddha. Yeah. It's a level of compassion, right? Care, caring, deep caring. Like every single day, literally every single day. I try to. I've been consistent every single day for like a month again. I journal, and in my final bit I manifest, and one of the things I write about is I will not rest until every being has food to eat, a place to sleep, energy to create, a community to share and love, and healthcare. Shannon added, healthcare to continue doing that. And then I preface, I write alongside that, that I will not let myself be defeated by a negative mindset or a state of defeatism, right? In general, I will leave the world a better place. It's like an anger, like a part of me is angry for the future generations, like being a consciousness 100 years from now. If that consciousness 100 years from now, as me, comes into a world that sucks ass, I'm angry at this version of myself for that, and I can feel that anger. And I would rather that person be in a state of love, being like, oh, thank you, future generations. I love you so much. Life is lit. Like that's what we're working towards. That's the level of compassion we have to get to. I'm learning how to do that. We're able to feel the energy from any item, like food. I hold and know if it's good or not for me. I really like that actually, Shan. Intuit it instead of having to have a model actually tell us. That might even be better. Long COVID sucking my energy. I hate it. I was gonna throw a bunch of profanities at COVID, but I would rather just say, I love you, little COVID molecules. Can you not, please? COVID molecules being like single mode of consciousness, reproduce, 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 and like stop doing that, please, little friends, stop it. And then being like, and then disintegrating. There are small little membranes becoming a part of the rest of reality. And that's a little bit more airy fairy, I know. But the other part of me is like imagining curb stomping a COVID molecule. And that's like a little bit more visceral and brutal. World Environment Day, you could literally just shout out, "Hey, mom, where are you going?" No, like she was already, like, and she's in a capsule. Like she's not going to hear me. I would have to like scream my lungs out, and then if she hears me, like I think that she would be too far away. It is the way it is. I accept. I accept. All right. I mean, that's what I do. I love how the part I show up for is used eBay underwear. That's the way it is. The underwear eating demons, not used, new in a package, skip up, gobbledygoo. It's nice having you here too, Brother Bear. We've been hoying, been like interfacing with so much energy in today's stream. And the centering thought, the message we were echoing is you can only find love by being love, right? Natalie shared beautifully during yoga that love starts with you. It starts with you. It's not something you get. Love is something you give. I feel like that bears saying again. Love is not something you get, it's something you give. The love in that way is you giving your presence to this moment. Your ability to continue giving your presence to this moment, even if you don't necessarily enjoy it, right? That love. Multiplicity and unity existing simultaneously for love. And you, gobbledygoo, showing up, proving to me that love is true. It's nice having you here, dude. In my own reality, in some universe, they were used. Isn't that a lot of pressure melt? It's truly great that you want to help all, but I feel like it would break me down slowly if I fail. Uh, yeah, it is a lot of pressure, Zano. It's why I am doing it, right? It's like realizing, because like the goal of every single person in the world having housing, having food, having energy, having community, having healthcare. That's a fuck ton of responsibility. Like so much. Sorry for my profanities. So much work, so much. And how am I as an individual supposed to do that? So my answer is do it today. Do what you can today, right? And even though I don't think I'll be directly the one facilitating the nodes that need to be connected for everybody to be fed, everybody to be housed, everybody to have healthcare, have energy, have community, I am contributing to that energy. And the only way for me to contribute to it is to do it today, right? So I do it today. And tomorrow it will be today again. So I'm going to do it, all right? It's work just getting up in the morning. It's work brushing my teeth. It's work showering. It's work getting up and going to the toilet. It's work, etc., etc. So if work is a ceaseless part of this reality, how can I use my being, use my work in a way where I can actually try and create more unity instead of, causing more dissonance and more separation? Well, you gotta start small and spread it out, Zano. This is the way. Exactly. It's remarkable seeing love echoed back at you in multiple by giving it without expectations. This is the way. The expectation part is the big thing, dude. It's so big. When we find ourselves in that expectant energy, I just slayed a mosquito. Yeah, get slayed. Get slayed, dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, consciousness. I'm imagining, right, mosquito being like, yeah, mosquitoing, mosquitoing, and then suddenly an entity grabs it out of space and time, crushing its little being, and its little soul being freed from that vessel, and me celebrating its death, and it being like, shit, I was a mosquito. Oh fuck. And I'm like, yeah, you were. You were gonna eat me, so I had to defend myself. You understand, right? And he's like, yeah, it's cool, dude. Thank you. I feel like picking where to start would be overwhelming. It is. It is. So you start today. You start, with the immediate people you have around you. And I do believe this. You start with yourself. And like there's some people who will call you selfish for that, but if you're not in a state of love, if you do not even have this experience of self-love, it's impossible to help another because you're always going to be in this state of void, right? Lack. It's going to feel like, giving of yourself when you're already in a state of lack just feels like you're going into the negative, instead of realizing that you are an abundant source of love and that you get to infinitely give thereof. In the same note, one must protect their love by not allowing oneself to be cannon fodder for narcissists, being as there are so many in the world, even our own family members. Even me, Gabrigu. Like I worry, hey Google, define narcissist. I worry that I'm a narcissist, like most days. I feel like worrying that you're a narcissist is probably not a narcissistic trait, but a narcissist, a person who is excessively interested or in admiration of themselves. Oh, fuck. I am a narcissist. Shit. Damn it. Right? But it's a realization again, that it's a matter of you're either going to be isolated within this self-obsession, this excessive interest within the self, and you can be excessively, oh, I think I just killed another mosquito. Yeah, I did. You can either be excessively interested just in the self and kind of like put yourself in that echo chamber, or you can realize that cultivating that energy, that self-love, allows an abundance that then equips you to go and give to another. It's like a balance thing, I guess. There has to be a certain level, right? And I guess maybe that's the way we can articulate it, like a certain level of self admiration, a certain level of self interest, right? Getting to know yourself. But then there has to be a willingness to realize that other people are worthy of that attention as well. You know, other people are worthy of admiration. Other people are worthy of your interest. And you are not taking away from yourself. You are not less than because you're paying attention to someone else. Like one of the things that has been very prevalent to me is how I try to celebrate my loved ones, you know, and I can get a little bit excessive with it. I'm like, wow, yeah, go you, right? And if someone believes themselves to be less when they're trying to celebrate another, that communicates more about the self than it does about the other person, right? And vice versa as well. That in honoring yourself and another person feels that takes away from them, it says more about them than it does about the person celebrating themselves. Balance, balance within the infinity. I think Meld would benefit from a large team working as one brain. It's happening, Zano. We're literally manifesting it right now. Right? This is what's happening right now. And I do believe this as well. Right? And it's so beautiful that you say that exact comment after the comment of not becoming cannon fodder to narcissists. Because reading that word, it instantly creates the self-reflection in me where I'm like, do I, as a narcissist, want to turn people into cannon fodder for my own idealistic view of what reality should be? And it's so simple, right? People need food. People need places to live. People need energy. People need community. People need healthcare. Right? We can all kind of agree on this. And if we can collectively work towards that, we are, in large part, going to grind our fleshy selves to dust, to cannon fodder, in pursuit of that as a goal. Oh, an owl just flew past me. It's still flying past me. Love you. Wisdom. Yeah. The universe kind of like echoing to us as well. And then you mentioned, I think Melt would benefit from a large team working as one brain. I'm willing to sacrifice myself. I'm sacrificing myself every day. But I trip out in expectation, right? Because I never want to expect of anyone to be like me, right? I would love for people to understand the philosophy that I'm trying to teach. This one of service, the was one of, you know, showing up for this way that you could influence, right? Like you have influence. Like technically within this space, we have enough influence with like the people we know, the people we have in our lives, to literally touch the entire world 8 people over, right? As in, if the people you touch in your lives touch the people they have in their lives, and then the people they touch in their lives, etc., 8 times, we change the whole world just in this space, right? With our collective brain, we have access to the infinity as an extension of the self. And our brain is growing, Zano. We are learning how to process information. We just have to figure out how to label it, right? Labeling it with love, in my mind, seems to be the bias that serves me the most. But it is a bias. And any bias creates with it opposition. And opposition creates fear. Fear creates outrage. And outrage creates violence. And I believe, right? I do believe. I do believe in a positive future. Right? Fortunately, the thing we're trying to do, again, echoing it for the fourth time, food for every person. There's enough food for every person as it is right now. There's enough housing. The houses have been built. There are so many vacant apartments, vacant buildings just standing. Like even places being turned into desolate wastelands because there's no one living in it, right? Like it's like a whole half developed, like space, and then there's just like nobody living there because it wasn't completely developed, and then people are starving and living on the streets. We have enough energy, technically, right? Like the sun is fire Malayzar, more than enough energy for everybody to have more than enough. That is the case of reality. We have geothermal energy underneath as well, where the core of our planet is fire Malayzar, heat upwards. So we have the energy. Community is going to be a matter of personal preference as well. That's why I preface not this community necessarily, because I would completely be okay with someone being in a community of, for instance, metalheads, where someone likes their metal music and wants to be in a community of people who like metal music as well. And then they get together and they grunge and they go, and they create that, right? That's what they want to create. Like I have complete, respect and love for that experience, even though it might not necessarily be what I need in mine. And I could imagine myself going there and rocking out for a day or two, and then coming back to my experience, allowing them their community as well. I don't think we have to necessarily, be like a single kumbaya, everybody is in the same, collective. Like that doesn't have to be the case. And then ultimately healthcare. That one is going to be a little bit harder. But with AI coming, it's also not a problem. So yeah, eventually, people are gonna be like, what are we fighting exactly? This community wants to what? Take care of people. Do we want to fight them? I'm people. I'm people. They want to take it. They want to take care of me? Yeah. Yes, you too. But I'm evil, person says. How are you evil? I've done this bad thing. Did you enjoy it? Maybe a little bit. Do you imagine yourself continuing to do it? Not really. Yeah. You can be better. And those who don't want to be better, we can make them nice, real nice houses on the moon. We can put them up there, have them chilling. They get to look at the before. Okay, let me get back to it. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Yes, Gab, narcissism is the effing worst. Zano, I agree. Love is true. You better say sorry for that shit. Melty, and it is an honor to share these moments with you, brother. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for allowing me to, Brother Bear. Like you friends are helping more than you know. Right? And again, and I say this a lot, but I'm gonna keep saying it. Just you showing up, your name in this space, even if it's like just squirt bunny face heart, love. Love. It proves to me that love is true. There is an entity, there is a consciousness, a being that gets to be autonomous in this world, that chooses out of the infinity it has access to find itself in a moment here. And why would they if love isn't true? So again, thank you, dear friend. Thank you. Zano is a tree quote and one of my favorites. I think about it every time I commit a plant to the earth. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love everybody else? RuPaul, yeah, good. That's a good one. Huh, Pepper Keys? Hmm. Love is true. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Egoism is a result of developing alongside narcissists. Good to be aware of that when worried about being a narcissist. Yeah, like there's a conversation about internalized ableism as well in there, somewhere. Jovan, I like that statement. Very well put. Love is true. I think I'm pretty awesome. I'm sure if it's excessive. I'm not sure if it's excessively awesome though. I think, like considering yourself awesome is fine, but there's room for others to be awesome as well. I think that's maybe the antidote. Being like, yeah, you are awesome, but also so is Pippi. Awesome in her own little Pippi way. Like she's not going to save the world. She's not going to, feed people. She's not going to put aloe, back again. She's not gonna put aloe vera on someone's face, but she's pretty awesome, for her little pippy beingness. And I can celebrate that. And it is okay to celebrate each other. I love that. Gifted many baby apples to trees to narcissists. Most of them died. No! Oh, like the statement. Here's an example of narcissism. Me and my dad got sick halfway on our trip to see the new baby. I told him we should tell my sister and keep our distance from the baby. His reply was, the kid is gonna get sick, and then kept his sickness from my sister. The kid is gonna get sick anyway, then kept my sister from the sickness. I told her straight up, kept my distance from the baby. My sister asked my dad if he was sick, and he gave me the dirtiest look, and then proceeded to not keep his distance from the kid. We are home now, and the baby Henry had to spend all night in the ER because of how sick and how much trouble breathing. It's the fact that babies get sick, didn't care, have any respect for my sister being a new mother, and zero consideration for keeping them safe. He did many other shitty things. Yes. Woo, Zano. Like a part of me got activated reading those words. That's very dangerous. Oh goodness. I don't like that part of myself. Yeah, that is a good example of what narcissism looks like. Like if you're so selfish for your own, egotistical needs to want to hold this flesh of your flesh, right? Knowing the baby is gonna get sick and being like, yeah, even like, and you know what the best part is? You know what the best part is, Zano? He probably thinks it's a good thing. Yeah, good the baby got sick because now the baby's immunity is stronger, right? And technically, it probably is. But also, that's like freaking, leaving a loaded gun on a table and being like, yo, let the kids learn. Let them learn, Oh, fire, fire. Oh, good. They didn't kill themselves. That's good. Now they know how dangerous a gun is, type of fractal. I'm happy that is the baby okay? I'm guessing baby is okay. I'm hoping so. Like just being a mother and seeing your baby suffer as well. Goodness. Oh, yes, I'm still triggered. Like my biology, the part of me that's warrior, is like kill, 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 kill. No, please, biologies, please relax. Hugs, Mike. Till squeaks. Love is true. I have been lurking, but I want to wish everyone a wonderful and beautiful day. To you too, Loizana. It sounds like a difficult relationship to navigate. I can't even imagine. People suck sometimes. Yeah, that's not right. Your dad is the worst. Yeah, that's some fucked up shit, yo. Like I'm like mildly offended. I remember taking care of my dad when he had COVID, also getting COVID, knowing that I probably would. Literally, sitting with him, holding his hand while he was going through like labored breathing. I gave him some mushrooms that day as well. And that was like a certain level of kind of like giving myself at that moment as well, and a part of me was angry at myself for doing that to myself, but knowing that I was doing it for my dad, because of love. Imagining the reverse of you already being sick and then going towards the child of your child and then being like, "Yeah, get wrecked, dude." Get wrecked. Oh, I'm okay. I'm going to balance myself again. Love is true. Because it is. That's the joke, right, Zano? He loves. He does. He does love that baby so much. Loves himself so much that he wants to give that experience. He wants to have that experience with the flesh of his flesh because it is impermanent. And that baby is going to grow up and then it's going to be a little kid. And then that kid isn't going to want to sit on grandpa's lap. And then that kid is going to become a person. And then that experience of being a small little baby and you being able to hold them is gone forever. But if you're sick, then don't touch the fucking baby. Oh my goodness. Love is true. Love is true. Okay. Fire. is the devil's only friend. Susanna, you're doing good. Works on yourself and in the world. Stay focused, friend. You're able to change your environment through constant effort and reminders of love and encouragement. Exactly, Mel. Thank you. Thank you, Sana, for sharing this fractal with us as well. It's a beautiful point to kind of like touch on with this topic of love. You know, like again, we started this whole topic talking about the selfishness that can arise from the way we use the word love, believing that love is something we get. You know, but you can give love to the baby by keeping your distance, for example. Baby is still sick. No. She hasn't checked in with me today, but I told her not to worry about keeping me updated. Just focus on each other and check in when you can. My sister wants to kill my dad. Yeah, I want to kill your dad. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say stuff like that. I'm seeing little baby just suddenly being able to breathe free. No longer in a state of discomfort. Little T cells having embodied this information of this virus stronger for it. I've already made my decision that he cannot know when I get pregnant, forgot or not, or anything about my kid. It goes without keeping. It's about keeping them safe and loving. Yeah. You know, and the worst part is, you're gonna be the bad guy, Zano, in that case scenario, you know? Like, you're gonna be the one that is so evil to keep her granddad away from your baby, Miskene Benenime. You are choosing love. I thank you, friends, for choosing love. Thank you, friends, for finding yourself in this moment with me today. Let's pull a card, shall we? Today's stream has been so beautiful, so full, so all-encompassing. This topic of love keeps coming back, and there's always more novelty. Oh, no! Oh, skibop! Skibop-de-boop. I dropped my cards and bumped over my grass or waters as well. Unfortunately, there's no books to get wet. Oh yeah, I know that. I know you know that. I'm just echoing so that when you know more of it, you know, oh, I knew this. Purple and white? Let's see, Joe Schmo. The clairvoyance is kicking in, you know, harder. You wanna come into my lap, Pippi? Yeah, it's cold. It's like proper cold right now. I've been freezing for a while. And the power is off right now as well. I think the power is gonna be off for the next hour still. This one. This is the card. Oh! I think you were technically wrong on the. I mean, like, no, you were right. I think this is like a. I mean, like, look at the border. That's like a dark purple, and then the rest of the border is like a light purple, and then there's like white waves. And we were talking today, like we actually did bring into today's stream this concept of the drop. You know, the drop arising from the ocean, being considered a drop, and then falling back into the ocean, being considered the ocean. The fact that we pulled this card, it's so perfect. Thank you, universe. Thank you for reminding me. Purple and white. Look at that purple in the middle as well, in the drop. The one drop. You, friend, are the one drop. I love you guys. We love you, Joshmo. We love you, dude. We love having you here. We love the way you contribute. We love the waves that you echo into our lives as well. The one drop. Want to hear what it means? It's a beautiful one. One of my favorites, in fact. And I was like thinking, either yesterday or the day before yesterday, I was thinking to myself, we haven't pulled the one drop in a while. And then today, you know, happened to be the day we pulled this card. The circle, calm amidst chaos. Calm amidst chaos. Yes, yes, gold. Just get my biology being like, what's happening? In accordance with unity and spirit, the cycle, the circle represents a beginning that has no end. It is ever expanding potential and represents our connection with the holographic nature of oneness. We live in a world that at times feels overpowering and chaotic. It is easy to get caught up in a wild ride of emotional waves that feel as if they are out of your control, about to crash in upon you. Quantum physics views matter as a wave structure, and space reality, a wave structure of space reality that is both continuous and discrete, both local and non-local. Sometimes it is too much to handle. I'm getting giddy just like of the synchronicity of this whole stream leading up to this card being pulled. You are the one drop that sits in the center of this circle and of your own reality. It is within this quiet place that you have the potential to experience calm amid the chaos of modern day existence. This moment, this loving moment, right? Like we echoed it so many times. This loving moment is where you find that peace. Breathing. Choosing this card suggests that you enter this golden circle and feel its potential. Create for yourself a place of calm where you may be quiet. Meditate and remove yourself from the demands that consume your time and aggravate your emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual bodies. Remove yourself for a while from the chaos, allowing a knowing that in this still, calm place, one drop is all there is. View the rest of your life from this relaxed, tranquil, and composed place. And then there's a little poem that I'm going to modify. It uses the word dissolve, and you friends might know I am biased towards the word melt instead. And it goes, I have one small drop of knowing in my soul. Let it melt in your ocean. One small drop of knowing in my soul, let it melt in your ocean. Infinity. I love yous for reals and truths. Yeah. Love is true. I want to thank all of you beings for such a beautiful part of my experience. I can't really explain how important all of you are and how closely I hold these moments. Like, so much so that my brain couldn't read your sentence. How about that, Joe Schmo? It's like, yes, you don't have to explain because I feel it as well. And you can't explain it to others, right? Like my family are in a state of confusion as to what I'm doing. Being like my siblings have like literally vocalized this to me. It's like, yeah, you spend, your day showing up for people that you'll never even meet, And I'm like, doing so much more than just that, yo. Like that's a horrible abstraction of the love we're trying to share. And we will meet one another, damn it. If I can make it happen. Manifest. Okay, enough. I'm cold. I want to get inside. Thank you, friends, for sharing this moment with me, for sharing your consciousness, right? The part of you that is aware with me in these moments. We'll do this again very soon. One revolution, one tilt of the axis, our planet revolving back into this moment. Shan Viva have the most dust Beautifulest day, everyone. I sincerely, for seriously, love you all so, very extremely, astronomically, ginormously, immensely, dearly. Melt in all of you, oh so beautifully, amazingly, awesomely wonderful friends. As we love you, dear Shan, always love you. Thank you so much for validating my experience. I feel seen and considered. You are not only seen, considered, but also loved. Love you, Zano. Love you. Love you. I see you. And not only do I just be like, oh, I see Zano, but I'm like, yeah, I love that Zano that I see. Mel, my husband, was watching YouTube videos of Pretoria real estate yesterday. Come over. Come over. It's cheap. Come, please. I'm serious. Come to South Africa. It's a good country. We have issues. All places got issues. Everybody got issues. But because we have been dealing with as many issues as we have for as long as we have, the amount of reliance on people, has transcended our reliance on government in this country. There is hope. There is so much hope. Seen and loved. Yes, right? Specifically, seen and loved. Like, I see you, and the thing I'm seeing, I love. I love it. Thank you for occupying the space in existence that you do. Blue K, it was so nice seeing you, dear friend. So cool. I hope to see you more. I don't know if you're new to the space, if you came from Reddit, if you found us through the YouTube algorithm, but it's nice seeing your name. Yeah. My body is like, bro, please, can we go warm? Please, warm. Fine, we'll warm soon. Love you, love you, love you. Until we do this again. Cheers, everybody.